I made a real big change in my life, Christian, this last couple weeks. With all this coronavirus stuff going on and just all the hysteria, I've decided, you know what? I'm going to stay as far away from as possible. I've committed to Michelob Ultra. Nothing. No. No, obviously that's an old... what's this?
What?
Oh!
That was here when I got here.
It's a thumb drive. Put that in your computer.
All right.
Put it in your computer.
Oh, we're updating our technology.
It's dated in 1997. That's weird.
Okay.
But it's not from
Hold
1997?
on a minute. Let me put it in here.
Yeah, put that in there.
All right, I'm going to play it. Hold on. Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, Sequel agents. This is Agent P, codenamed The Voice. A recent development has forced me to contact you regarding the current franchise. You are being reassigned. It is critical you listen closely to the following message in order to gain access to the new assignment. Good luck.
What do you think this means?
I was wondering what they would... I was wondering if they would do this. But, okay, so what's the new
Well, now
mission?
what are we going to do? We're just going to sit here and...
Do we do a new does that mean we're doing a new franchise? Like, which one would we
Are we getting
do?
reassigned?
I
Is
think
what he
that's
said?
what he said. Yeah, reassigned to a different, but similar?
Why? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, are you recording, though? I guess we'll find out our new mission on this edition of SequelMen, the podcast.
Coming at you, not live from the British makeshift headquarters. Two men talk about the films you care about. Or don't. It's the SequelMen podcast, and it starts right now.
Oh,
okay.
Wait. That song,
That
what's
sounds
that from?
familiar.
What's that from?
In
What's
the
that song
makeshift
from?
British headquarters? Is that what it was?
You know what?
Something like that?
You know what the makeshift British headquarters is from?
What? Wait a minute. Oh.
1997, it said it. That's what it meant. It was
why.
the year of the movie.
Yep. It's from 19... They had flash drives back then?
No.
It was the
That's
data.
It was titled. That was like a clue.
Okay.
It was like the you know that when they title a movie to keep it secret.
Yeah.
What do they call that? The working title?
The tentative title, working title. Yep. Okay.
That can only mean one thing.
Invasion.
Invasion? That can only mean one thing. Our new mission
is Austin Powers.
The
International Man of Mystery. And you know, we had no idea this was going to happen. We walked in here. We listened to the intro, just like he said. We found this USB stick on our table here. And it's quite a coincidence. No, we watched... Did you watch this movie?
I watched it at
Today?
lunch because I always just like to watch movies at lunch, and I have a long lunch. And I happened to watch this one. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Crazy.
So does that mean...
I was just scrolling Netflix last night, and I came across, and I was like, you know, I haven't seen Austin Powers in like 10 years. So I was like... I mean, I know the funny parts of it, but...
Do you think this has to do with... I got it. Do you think because...
Why they're reassigning us?
Yeah, because they're delaying the release of No Time to Die...
Okay.
Until November.
Okay.
So there'd be too big of a gap.
Well, darn it.
Okay, well, that makes sense. We move on to a different spy thriller as a placeholder.
I was really looking forward to Quantum.
I was too, but I guess we wait till October, November.
We were both looking forward to it. You know, this is something we never saw and everything. Oh, the last episode closer.
I have an idea, and this is just me thinking on my feet.
But this is fun. This is too.
Fun.
I understand their
excited.
decision. I understand their decision.
I do, and you know what? What we can do is, since we only released Casino Royale,
right?
We're gonna leave that there. But when it gets closer and we reboot and start actually start and finish the 007, we'll re-release that on the Monday before the Tuesday we release Quantum Solace. So
that makes sense.
It'll be whatever week we release Quantum of Solace. We'll do that Monday. We'll re-release this episode.
You know, we could do some bonus feature too.
Oh yeah, because you were saying
there's a uncutted. What the?
Uncutted.
After all these years, no. There's an unrated, expanded cut that was on the 4K
of Casino Royale.
Yeah, of Casino Royale, unrated, expanded cut.
So we'll re-release it with some.
Yeah, we'll give our thoughts on what's in the extended cut.
Good idea.
Just to give something new.
Good idea. And how perfect to make a seamless transition. A hard left. We didn't see this coming, but with the delay, we have to. So I get why they're reassigning us. But Austin Powers, a film franchise that's funny, and it's a parody, essentially, of James Bond.
Yeah.
So now it makes sense.
Dr. Evil is Dr. No.
Okay. And it all makes sense. This is all making sense. Well, I even took a few notes because I'm thinking, you know what, for the future when we get to this one. So luckily
You just had to write them down, right?
Yeah, I had to write them down. So I wanted to be
it's
prepared for
like
when
you
we
had
did
a
watch
feeling.
it. Yeah, I wanted to be prepared just in case, the whole mass hysteria of the corona light virus. So but anyway, we bring us in. I guess we're throwing you through a loop here.
Right, I know. I hope you guys are okay with this, but welcome to a new episode of SequelMen the podcast. It's me, Christian Bring It All. You're one of your familiar hosts. We got Spencer King across the table here.
Hey, I'm Spencer. How are you? Good. I just waved. I know. I was waving to you.
Would you get a hole in one? You're waving your
Hey, how are you?
No. But yeah, unexpected turn of events here, but we hope you stick with us and enjoy this film franchise.
We're good on our feet.
Yeah.
We take punches. And we are the SequelMen, Christian and
Indeed.
I. And what we do is, because all films are created sequel, we only do films that are either a part of a franchise, and we do the whole franchise, or a movie that
was supposed to spark a franchise.
No,
what? Maybe.
I don't know if I like that. Or at least a movie that has a sequel. Taking you out
behind the gym.
All right, well, I don't have a gym, so you can take me out back behind my shed, or in the shed, or drive the shed.
Your she shed?
It's my he shed. He shed, she shed.
Oh, okay.
You like that one?
That's a good one. I liked it.
Yeah, I do my evil laugh, but I don't want to peek. But Austin Powers, I didn't realize this is 1997, and this is 1997. It doesn't feel like 1997.
No.
It feels more modern to me.
It does. Well,
to me, like I was
American Online.
Well, no. Okay,
America
back up.
Online.
Just how it.
It's so old. I can't
looks.
even say the name right.
No, the computer, the technology. No, I meant like I was expecting the quality, like the actual video quality,
movies.
To be not as great. But it was like I was like, oh.
Generally, movies in the 90s, when you have the turn of the decade going from the 80s into the 90s, you do see a noticeable quality of through the filmmaking techniques, the cinema. You know, I mean, all the movies that came out in the 90s hold up absolutely to this day.
And this one is
and so do the ones in the 80s, but just the way the cinematography is advanced. Yeah. You can tell.
And even the humor. Nothing really seems, I mean, there's obviously some stuff that's dated, but there's no like big references that are like dated where you're looking and going, that didn't age well. But
oh, the whole fucking movie doesn't age well in terms of the Me Too movement and all that.
There's one part, speaking of that, there's one part that's, for this movie, it's surprisingly progressive, and I think it's in Act 2, and when it happens, I made a note about it, but it was a good move. And
I'm looking forward to hearing what that is.
Yeah, it was.
I'm trying to think of it right now.
Because we watched, I'm like, wow, like you would have never seen that coming, but it's a very mature, like respectful moment. And like a sentimental moment. I'm like, okay. I get it. That's for the times and for how. But I'll tell you when we get to it. So I remember
Powers.
These were like my favorite movies.
Really?
As a kid. I had them all on VHS. Watching it today, I realized I picked up on a lot more humor stuff that I did not get as a kid because I wouldn't have.
I watched it last night and with my roommate and his girlfriend, and I hadn't laughed. I was just laughing my ass off.
Funny.
It was hilarious to me.
It's funny.
She's a man.
Yeah, like
that's my mother.
Like, I think there was one part.
Well, she must have been beaten with the ugly stick.
Oh, yeah, Basil. Like as a kid, I didn't know what exposition was.
Me neither. I thought it was expedition.
Me too. But then I watched it today. I'm like, oh my god. These names are just
describing
on the
what
nose.
they are. Like,
yeah, it's great.
their
But not all,
archetype.
like not all of them. Just like the side, like the stereotype players. But like Vanessa, she has a regular name.
That's true.
Austin Powers is a pretty
Austin
normal name.
Powers.
Danger Powers. So do you think...
Danger is my
Do you think we
middle
should
name.
just dive in?
Well, I was gonna say there's a few moments in this film that are kind of emotional. Few and far between.
Yeah, but
let's be honest. I mean,
right.
there's not much depth to this. I mean,
right.
but there are some moments where I feel bad for Austin, and there's the idea of like a man out of his own time, like Captain America, for instance.
Well, yeah, because he was frozen for 30 years.
I know.
Throw him a bone.
This is our celebrity chamber.
Oh yeah,
We'll
that's
get
Gary
into-
Coleman. Yeah, well, jeez.
Vanilla Ice.
Right.
What an act
funny
of
stuff.
courage to freeze himself once again. Anyway, but I guess we'll just dive in it. We'll get through those moments as we get to them.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed watching it again.
Me
I'm
too.
talking about like it's the ending. What am I doing?
And
Go ahead.
luckily, we did watch it. So
Maybe Daniel Craig shows up.
wouldn't that be funny if he was in here as like
That
a
would
young...
be so funny.
What? Well, actually, funny, not funny, but it's been being talked about for several years, so who knows when it'll happen. But apparently, Austin Powers 4 is in
Are
development.
you serious?
Yeah, so we might have
How?
to revisit this. I don't know, but Mike Myers is writing it, and obviously gonna, come back.
Austin
So,
Powers is back.
So he'll probably play 5 characters this time.
I'll get you, Austin Powers.
Freaking freezing,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Bigglesworth. So here we go. We're starting 1967.
It's the age of the hippie.
Somewhere outside of Las Vegas.
Yep.
And we meet, but we never see his face until later.
He
But we don't
stopped
see his
sniffing.
face.
Sorry.
We hear Dr. Evil, and
In
he's
his
got his
lair.
little cat, and he's explaining that all of his henchmen...
I am now surrounded by the most advanced
Yeah.
assassins in the world.
and they can't kill Austin Powers. So he kills a bunch of them by pushing a button with their name on them, and their chairs go back and they burn up.
Yeah.
But who's left?
And their chairs have soot.
Yeah.
And ash
But he
all over 'em.
leaves
Mustafa.
Mustafa, who was played by Will Ferrell.
Yes.
in an
I
extreme
had to be
cameo.
like, is that Will Ferrell?
It's Will Ferrell. In a
With
very
quite a
brief cameo.
bronzer. My goodness. I mean,
Yeah. That's part of the character.
I
I'm
know.
pretty sure.
That would not fly today either.
No. And then he left Frau Verbissina, the woman. I think those are the only 2 he leaves.
Oh, number
Pretty sure.
2.
He comes in when they meet up again after he's frozen.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, because that's when he's telling him about stuff that he threw me a bone. Yeah, he comes in later. So it's just those 2. So he's like, we're going to get Austin Powers or something. Then we cut to what you heard in the intro, and it's Austin Powers, and he's this groovy,
He's a wild and crazy guy in the 60s.
wild and crazy guy. And
Played
he's
by
got the
Michael
most-
Myers.
By Mike Myers, yeah. And-
Michael Myers, Halloween.
Yeah, Mike Myers. There's a very
Demi Moore
distinct-
produced this.
Seriously?
That's what it
I missed
said. Is
that.
it the same Demi Moore that we all think of?
Probably. Isn't she in one of these?
I don't think so.
I don't think. No, she's.
Don't tell me
wait.
who's in the other ones. I want to find out because I
Have you
haven't watched
never
them in
s-
so
Oh,
long
okay, I was
that
gonna
I don't
say.
even remember.
So.
So yeah, he's
everybody's
dancing through the
chasing him,
streets.
and
It's
he's
almost like an
dancing.
Annie Hall
Yeah.
tribute
this.
of him going down the street with the cello
And this
and the
sets
chair.
up that everybody in this time, like he's the it person.
He's
Everybody
the
knows
international
him.
man of mystery.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And he's trying to kind of avoid him, but also not. He's eating it up, and everybody's like, you and stuff.
He's showing his nasty teeth all over.
Yeah. And then he gets...
I saw a Bond reference too in the very beginning when it shows his feet as he walks past like the subway, and you see the circle graphics, almost like the intro to the Bond
Oh.
movies. The doot,
I
doot,
didn't
doot,
catch
doot.
that.
Yeah,
I'll have to rewatch the beginning. But then he gets picked up in this It has the British. Is it the British flag or is it specific?
The British, the royal, the British Empire flag. The flag. The flag of the British Empire.
Yeah, and it's a car. Like the car has that paint job, and he's picked up by a woman who is Mrs. Kensington.
Mrs. Kensington,
his partner, and she's another agent, and
he's flirting with her.
Yeah, but she's married. We find out here.
Yeah, and she's like, my husband wouldn't approve of this.
Yes, and then they get a they have a screen in the car, and then we get, at the time when I was younger watching this, went right over my head, but his name is Basil
Exposition.
Exposition.
We already talked about, yeah.
So he's literally here for exposition, to just fill us in, and that's all he ever does, really. Like, he just gives them information.
I felt a little weird last night because we were, again, my roommates and I were watching it, and I laughed out loud, pretty loud, and they didn't laugh as hard, so I kind of felt like I was the only one in the room who went, ha ha ha!
Well,
and then it was quiet.
It's funny because if you went to film school, you know that exposition is just like when there's a character that explains what's happening for the audience, and that's their sole purpose. Well, that's his.
Yeah.
Basil
Exposition.
I almost just tried to... I'm looking at notes on my phone, and usually I'm on my computer, and I have a scroll pad. Usually I use a scroll pad, so I'm just scrolling on nothing. But they are told to go to this club. I think it's like a swingers club.
It's the... Oh, my word. It's such a funny name, too.
But it has a big boy on top of it.
Sexy Swinger Club or something?
Yeah, and it has a big boy. Like, is there a big boy restaurant in it?
I think it's an upper
Or is it just
floor?
there?
I don't know.
It's so weird, but it's
there.
there.
It's there. Big Boy was real popular in 67, I guess. Especially in London.
And they're in there.
Outside Las Vegas. I don't know where.
And everybody's loving on him. And he's like, let's get a drink. And then Mrs. Kensington's like, shouldn't we focus on getting Dr. Evil? And he's like, yeah. And then he punches their server, who's a woman. But then she's like, why did you just punch? And he goes, because he's a man. And it was a guy, and he takes a wig off, and that was one of Dr. Evil's henchmen.
But Dr. Evil kills his own henchman here.
Yeah, shoots
to
which
keep him from speaking.
The funny
what
thing,
is he use, a blow dart, a harpoon gun?
Yes, it's a harpoon gun. But the funny thing is about this movie is it plays on all the criticisms that like Bond movies get, older ones at least, or any movie where there's a bad guy that doesn't, for some reason, like they do monologues and they don't kill the hero when they're just right there.
Right.
And then they get away. And they really play on that, and I love it. And just when you think, okay, here's a criticism I have, you can't, because it does
The movie does it.
It makes
itself,
fun of itself.
Yeah. It's
so any
self-deprecating.
criticism you would have, it's like, okay, as I was. It's
like, that's so stupid.
It's intentional.
They acknowledged how stupid it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't go to evil med school for 5 years to be called Mr. But the Dr. Evil gets away in that big boy, so that's why it's there. And
yes, the big boy goes into space.
Well, he goes into a cryogenic freezing
But
chamber,
why did...
and then goes to space.
He needed to fly into space to do that?
He's safer there.
Oh, that's true. He needed to get away from him. They would have just took his pod and put it in cold storage there.
He takes his cat, Mr. Bigglesworth, who is fluffy. That's key that you know that he's fluffy right now. So they go off into space, and that's it. And then it cuts to...
Turn your frickin' phone off.
What? Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, it's fun little... I have it on just in case of emergencies. But did they go right into 30 years later? They do.
Well,
right
they do.
Here.
Yeah, they do from here, and
But
it cuts to the air traffic controller.
Yeah, who's played by
Clint Howard, Ron Howard's dear brother.
Man.
Get a life!
And he's a fairly normal person in this cameo. Like, one of the most normal roles for him I've ever seen. And he's just explaining to this general. And then there's like a big boy on the radar.
Sure, the big boy is gone.
There's a joke
it's
about
vanished.
Like, the food where he's like...
affordable prices and good quality meats?
Yeah, like it's a direct... Like,
you might as well turn to the camera and...
Austin Powers turns to the camera later in the movie, so...
Cat in the Hat he does.
Yeah.
Ka-ching!
It's so... yeah, we're not going to talk about Cat in the Hat. That's a terrible movie. But then we find out this general... he's an American general.
Yeah!
He he's like, okay, I have to go to London, England.
Yes, England.
And we're
yes,
like,
I noticed that too.
He's going there to get Austin. And we find out Austin Powers also cryogenically froze himself just in case Dr. Evil came back. So then he would also be the same condition and age. And
all right.
It's just a funny, dumb thing. And he's frozen.
He's surrounded by, we joked
the celebrity
earlier.
vault.
Yeah.
Who's in there?
Gary Coleman, Vanilla Ice. Who else?
I think it's just those two and then him.
And then him, and of course, you see the pattern of his hairy chest is in the shape of
I never noticed
dong
that until
and
today
balls.
too.
And
Yep. And
I
he's
didn't
naked,
either.
And he's covered in his crotch, and his hair's all messed up, and this ice cube, and his glasses are all crooked. And Basil takes the American general in, and the Russian.
The Russian in
general.
The Russian. You notice him? He looks familiar.
He looked
doesn't
familiar,
he?
but what is he from? Do you know? Because
Pay rent.
Who?
Pay rent.
Is that who
That's
that is?
him. That's him.
From Spider-Man?
From
He's
Spider-Man.
The landlord. What's
yes.
his name? And
Mr. Ditkovich.
yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't know he was ever young.
What?
That's
what?
So...
He looks really young in this movie.
Does he have any lines in this movie?
No, he just stands there.
He looks intimidating. He looks very Russian.
Yeah.
But they're getting the rundown from Basil about why Austin froze himself, and then they have to unfreeze him because Dr. Evil's back. And he goes through this.
He's living up to his namesake.
Yes. There's 5 phases. There's the laser phase that cuts him out of the ice. Or it releases ice from the chamber or whatever. And then he's in this thing, and
when he's laying in there, he looks like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3.
After he takes
the black suit off, and it's showing it in the bell tower. The same angle.
And naked.
Yeah.
But he gets unfrozen by phase 2, the warm liquid goo phase.
Yeah.
And all these names are just spot on. They're perfect. But the warm liquid goo phase. And he's just laying there all gooey.
And it looks like he's got
like he's being
iodine
rebirthed.
all over him. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
He's like shower phase, and he's like...
Yeah, and he's
like
kind
he just
of
woke up.
Because he's been frozen for 30 years.
Right,
so he's being reacquainted.
Yeah. He's no Kappa.
The generals and Basil are watching each one, and the generals are just really confused and just like, okay, this is
all part of the process.
Basil's just super excited and just upbeat. He has a new haircut, modern for the times haircut.
It's the 90s.
Yeah, it's 97.
It's the 90s.
Hey, it's the 90s. I wish Mrs. Doubtfire had a sequel.
I know.
I really wish, but it doesn't.
Okay, so what are the other phases? After the
after
warm, gooey liquid
for a
phase.
long time.
Yeah,
that's
the...
What's it called? The release. What is it called when you release something?
Word.
It's X.
Extraction? No, not extraction.
X. What's that word?
Oh, it's right on my tip of my head here.
Expel? No.
No.
Anyway, he pees for a really long time.
And every time it cuts away...
You think he's done?
Extraction complete or something. Something that every time it cuts off at cum. Every single time.
Cump, and then he keeps peeing. And
I took that as a very adult joke.
I did.
Why would they cut it repeatedly at...
Well, there are some times where it goes a little longer, like
yeah.
And then it cuts off. But
I heard it the same every time.
And then
does that say more about me than this movie? I hope not.
I guess. Maybe
I heard it that way.
You're more immature and I'm more mature.
No, okay, with the amount of dick humor in this movie, it would not surprise me if that was intentional, cutting the word off there, okay?
Yeah, you're right. But after he's done peeing and he gets kind of dressed...
We're going to get an email saying what that word was.
Yeah, please do, because I can't remember it. And I could easily just look it up right now or after the show and just rewatch that part, but I'm not going to. But he meets, once he's all showered, dried, peed, and he's good and kind of clothed, he meets his former Mrs. Kensington's daughter.
Yep.
Former partner, not lover. She was married.
Vanessa Kensington.
Yes, and she's played by Elizabeth Hurley, who she
she's
peaked in
very
the 90s.
Nice.
I don't know what she's doing now, but she peaked in the 90s.
Not to be misogynist. I
No,
don't want to
she's
say it.
attractive.
She's very, very attractive.
She's attractive.
Be
She's
more
a typical
classy
Bond
about
girl.
that,
She's
for
a
Pete's
Powers
sake.
girl. And it's been 30 years. And he at first, because he hears Kensington, and he's like, oh, Mrs. Kensington. And they're like, no. Her daughter.
Mrs. Kensington.
Ms. Kensington. Vanessa. And she's like business. And
Yeah, baby.
don't
Don't call me baby ever again.
Yeah. And they kind of get acquainted.
Call me Vanessa.
Well, no, she says,
No, what does she
refer to
say
me as
first?
Agent Kensington.
Agent Kensington.
And then he goes, oh, come on. And then she goes, Vanessa. And he goes, yeah, or something. But before we go to the next scene, they have, he has to go get his stuff.
He has to collect his personal belongings.
And he gets his suit, and he's all excited, like, yeah, there it is.
Oh, very nice, very
and
nice.
he gets a vinyl record, Burt Bacharach, remember that name? And,
Groovy.
And his little ascot
Shagadelic.
thing. Yeah, he's using all these 60s terms, and it's the 90s. It's funny. He's a man at a time. And then we get to the last item. It's a Swedish-made penis enlarger pump. And he denies that it's his, and this is a funny joke. And then he's like, that's not mine. And
That's
then
not mine.
The guy pulls out one receipt, one credit card receipt for Swedish enlarger penis pump.
Signed by Austin Danger Powers.
It's not mine.
I swear.
And then what's he pull out next? There's something else.
What is
book.
the quote that's on the book?
Oh, what's the title of the book? Look that up. It's funny. Do you have your phone?
Yes,
Look that up.
I'm
But
looking
it's
it
a
up.
book that he wrote about the Swedish-made penis enlarger, and he still denies it. So he gets the rest of the stuff and goes. And then Vanessa goes somewhere, and he's about to leave, and the guy goes, Austin or Mr. Powers, and then he holds up the penis enlarger pump, and then Austin's like, okay, put it in, quick. Like, he doesn't want anybody to see. So the
I got it.
The name of the book is
The Swedish-Made Penis Enlarger Pumps and Me. This Sort of Thing Is My Bag, Baby, by Austin Danger Powers.
And the guy
This sort of thing is not my bag, baby.
It's such a because everything he says is
And a
followed by a
book.
rebuttal. It's I love it. It's a fun joke. So then we cut back. We're back with Dr. Evil, and we finally see his face, and it has like a scar on his face, which he's a parody of a Bond villain. The facial deformity. He's got a scar on his face. Yeah.
That's his real name.
And we see that Mr. Bigglesworth is now a hairless cat. And that was because of
Mustafa,
the
when you
freezing.
told me that you designed the cold storage system, that it would be okay for my cat. Look at Mr. Bigglesworth.
We didn't plan for feline. And then he burns him.
Look
and
at my cat.
Mustafa gets burned, and he's down in the pit.
Oh, I'm still alive. I'm just
very badly
burned.
And
Could somebody come down here and help me? I designed the system so there's a shaft, there's a door down here, an escape hatch. Could someone just open it? Oh, are you here to help me?
You shot me. You shot me in the arm. And there's another gunshot. And then
And
nothing.
it's silent. Dr. Evil's
But
like,
in between him talking, Dr. Evil tries to move on. But then Mustafa keeps interrupting
Okay,
him.
moving
He's
on.
still alive.
moving on.
But then he does his quote, one of his famous quotes. Right. Right.
He gets the phone. Yes, still alive. Yes.
No,
Okay.
burned.
Burned.
Very badly
burned. Okay.
And then we hear
And
him
then you
shoot,
yeah,
and
the
we
rest of
and
it.
die.
Oh!
He's dead. He's finally gone. He's dead. And we are introduced.
Close-ups on the vent.
Oh yeah, the vent where you can see like the flames and the steam. Yeah. And what I think is funny about this scene, like really funny,
Yeah.
is he's referring to his group as like if it was a big group, and there's like two of them, and he's just like, all of you, blah blah, and you're like, dude, there's two, but he's like, some of you I know, others of you I'm meeting for the first time, and it's like there's two of them. But
And we have a Mr. Random Task.
oh my gosh, this is outstanding. This Asian big guy that looks like Odd Job.
Yeah.
And his name is Random Task.
Why don't you show them what you can do?
And then, okay, so backstory. Odd Job in James Bond, throws his hat, and it's like a razor hat.
Yeah.
I think that's his weapon. This guy is a parody of him. His name is Random Task, so odd job. And he throws his shoe and shatters the head of a statue. Never says anything, doesn't have any lines.
You can tell that damn statue was already prepped to fall off.
Well, it looked like it started to fall off before the shoe got there. I caught that. That's, yeah.
Oh, it snaps perfectly at the neck.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Just this cheesy prop. But we also meet, Frau Farbissina's back.
Yeah.
We're introduced to, what's the guy's name, the Irish guy? What's his name?
Paddy O'Connell. Or Paddy O'Brien. Not even kidding. That's the name.
Like yep.
Paddy, generic Irish name.
And he has this bracelet with the Lucky Charms cereal.
They're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
They're always after me Lucky Charms. And everybody's like laughing. Why does everybody always laugh when I say that? It's a television commercial.
And all the little kids are always chasing the little leprechaun.
Oh, the leprechaun. It's like,
they're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
This is candy. This is fun. Anyway, and then they move on. But he's a generic Irish assassin. And then we meet Dr. Evil's number two. Number 2. And it's this business guy coming down. Played
by, oh man.
Well, you're thinking
very famous.
He's the owner of, what's the company's name? Starts with a V.
How can we not know this?
You
watched it today.
I did. Vol.
I don't know it either.
Vol.
Oh man,
look it up real
Volcrum.
Quick. No, but it's this company that is gonna like kind of be their cover, and Dr. Evil hatches this plan that they're gonna get Prince Charles to commit adultery. Virtucon. That's what it is. And they're gonna get his evil plan is to get Prince Charles to have an affair with somebody and then be taken out, and then they're going to be...
And then hold him for ransom or something.
Yes, and hold him for ransom. And then number 2 is like, Prince Charles did have an affair and was removed from the royal family. And then he moves on to the next...
he's now divorced.
What's the next plan?
I honestly don't remember.
Why?
What is wrong with
I should have written it down.
I know it's hilarious.
Look it up. Wait, watch it real quick. Go on. Do you have Netflix on your phone?
No, I don't.
No. What
does he say?
Okay, something for money, obviously. I took really generic notes because I thought it would come to me. But whatever it was, that plan had also already been done. And then he's getting frustrated, Dr. Evil. He's like, you guys got to throw me a frick... Yeah, here it is.
I have a plan.
He gets dragged away by...
Oh, I love the chair humor in this. Because it's a rolly chair, and every time he sits down, like, it rolls away or something.
It's called blackmail. As you know, the royal family of Britain are the wealthiest landowners in the world. Either the royal family pays us an exorbitant amount of money, or we make it seem that Prince Charles has had an affair outside of marriage, and therefore would have to divorce.
Prince Charles did have an affair. He admitted it, and they are now divorced.
Right, okay, people, you have to tell me these things, all right? I've been frozen for 30 years, okay?
Okay.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info. Okay, no problem. Here's my second plan. Back in the 60s, I developed a weather-changing machine, which was in essence a sophisticated heat beam, which we called a laser. Using these lasers, we punch a hole in the protective layer around.
I love the music.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's trying to. You can cut it. The ozone layer. He's trying to punch a hole in the ozone layer, and then he's going to hold the world ransom. And then number 2 is like that. Also has already happened. There's a hole in the ozone, and then he's like, you know what? We're just gonna do what we always do. We're gonna hold the world for ransom and threaten to kill everybody. Or it's just really generic.
I love
evil
the music behind all of this Dr. Evil stuff.
It's good music though. I like it. So then we go back to Austin Powers.
It's called blackmail.
Austin Powers has to sign a release form, and he's filling it out. And he gets, I quote, every time I fill out a form that says sex and you put male or female, he goes, sex, yes, please. And I, to this day, always, if I'm with somebody, I'll always do that. I'll always do that. And he's filling the thing out. And it's just this funny scene. Like, they're getting ready to go find him, I think. And then we go back to Dr. Evil. And this is a pivotal moment for him. Because he froze his semen originally. Okay? And they used it. Frau Verbissena's like, hey, we got impatient a couple years in. So we made a son. We used your semen to make a son. And then you hear this like 90s alternative rock, punk rock music. And Seth
Only
Green,
when the door opens.
yeah. Seth Green comes out and it's Scott Evil. And he's just like, you abandoned me. Or you haven't been around for 30 years, for all my life.
I hate you.
Yeah. And then,
Scott,
give me a hug.
give me a hug.
Come here. Come here.
It's a little finger thing. I'm cool. I'm hip.
Ah. And he does the Macarena. He tries to have a relationship.
You're looking
with
at
him.
me like I'm Frankenstein. Come and give me a hug.
What
He chases him around with his arms out like Frankenstein.
I thought that was funny too. Something I never caught. Then we're back. These are like some quick scenes. Austin and
I'm
Vanessa,
surrounded by freaking idiots.
which is a classic evil doer line. But Austin and Vanessa go
surrounded by assholes.
go to the casino to do some recon because they know that one of Dr. Evil's men will be there. And this is a parody of Casino Royale, I'm assuming. And,
oh my God.
He's walking around.
Hey, Americans! Yeah!
There you are! Do I know you? No, but that's what you are. You're right there. And then he just walks away and he's loving it. And they get to a blackjack table. And this, I understand. I don't understand poker, but blackjack, I know you want to get 21.
Can I join you?
And then so he
Yes.
joins the game. And number 2 is there with his eye patch. He has an eye patch.
He's got an X-ray eye patch who can see everyone else's cards.
Yeah, and well, he can see the next card, so
Right.
he knows. But we also meet a lot of vagina. His
This is
woman,
my...
which is playing on the whole James Bond, like the women names.
A lot of vagina.
A lot of what?
Really?
Vagina.
Because I thought
It
I
sounds
thought you
like you're
said...
saying. Never mind.
No.
So they're playing
Well,
blackjack.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
I love that joke so
Yes.
much because you can see he catches himself just like shoot.
My name is
yeah.
Richie Cunningham, and this is my associate, Oprah.
She's white, by the way.
Yeah.
Vanessa's white.
Yes.
So Oprah, that's the funny. It's
Deal
hilarious.
me in.
So then number 2 gets I don't know his cards, but he gets what does he get? Because it's a 4. He gets a 17, which is a high number. You want to get close to 21 or 21. If you get 21, you win, and you have to beat the dealer. So you want a high hand, and he gets 17. And usually you'd think, okay, I'll stay, because if you go over 21, you lose. Because he uses X-ray to see that the next one's a 4, so that'll give him exactly 21, and he'll win. And then the dealer's like, sir, you have a 17. I would stay. And he goes, I like to live dangerously. And then he pulls up, and it's a 4, so he gets 21. Everybody's like, oh, and they're clapping. And then Austin gets a 5. Not a high number. If you get a 5 in blackjack, you will say, hit me, because you want a higher number. But he goes, and the music cuts out, too, because it's all dramatic, and he goes, I'll stay. The dealer goes, you have a 5. I would hit. And he goes, I too like to live dangerously. And the dealer's like, okay. And then he flips up his next card and he wins. Austin loses, obviously.
Yeah.
And he does that like smug, I'm impressed, like that slow clap.
Yeah.
Like, well played. You're obviously a better card player than I am. It's like, you had a 5. Like, and that is a nice joke. You have to know blackjack to understand that joke, which luckily I know the basics, so that's funny.
I probably played it at
You
some
just-
point in my life.
you
I
want
didn't
21.
remember. This is Casino Royale all over again, okay?
Yeah, but this is easier. They
I
make
know.
it
It is
easier, and
much
it's not as
easier. The
intense.
way, yeah, it
But
is
then,
much easier.
Number 2 goes to the bathroom, or he says he's going to the bathroom. So Austin goes to the bathroom, and he opens the door, and there's a blind. You know how they have the attendant with like
Yes.
cologne and stuff, and he goes, "You didn't happen to see anything at all. Sorry." And like he's a blind guy.
Why is he blind?
Because
not why is he blind?
For
but
that joke.
I know, but what?
That's why. Like, it's just funny because it's that joke.
I thought it was Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, it kind of looked like him.
It did when he went like this. Well, you can't see me, but
he
raises his head back, and you kind of see his chin. I was like, that looks like Christopher Lloyd's chin.
Austin is standing in the mirror, and he's just putting a bunch of baby powder on his hand.
Why?
He like claps his hands, and it's like this cloud of thing. And he's coughing, and then Tom Arnold. If you don't know who Tom Arnold is, he's a celebrity, I guess. I don't know if he still is, but he used to be a host on a show on like Fox Sports Network called Best Damn Sports Show, period.
Oh,
so he was like, it was like a comedic.
He's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
He's a comedic actor.
Not a good actor, but he's kind of funny. In this, he's
okay.
He's
in this, he's
good
pretty
in this,
damn
in this
good.
brief thing. He's like this cowboy, and Austin goes to take a dump, and then he goes and sits down to take a dump, and then we're in the stall, and they're just kind of talking, and then we see from behind Austin a portal.
That was so funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's not in there. Like,
no, it just opens up, and he doesn't hear it. Austin just got that
just
stupid grin on his face on the shitter,
and it's the Irish guy.
Yeah, it's Patty
O'Brien.
Patty O'Brien.
And he uses his bracelet with the Lucky Charms to try to choke Austin.
But he hears the jingling of the charms.
So he puts his hands on his neck and he saves himself. And he's getting him, and he's making all these noises like it sounds like he's. And then Tom Arnold's like, "Hey, just
his feet are kicking around.
Ease up there. You got to ease it out.
You're gonna blow out your O-ring doing that."
Yeah. No. And he's just like, "Who does number 2 work for?" And then Tom Arnold, it cuts back and he goes, "Yeah, you tell that turd who's boss or something.
Give me a courtesy flush over there."
Or, yeah, because it sounds like gurgling because he's giving him a swirly.
A swirly.
And then he flushes the toilet and he drowns.
Cool little shot where his Lucky Charms are off of his
and they fall off.
Wrist,
cool. I always wanted that bracelet.
Very dramatic.
I always wanted that bracelet.
Really? Cool. I'm sure you could buy it somewhere.
I'm sure you could. Or make it. And then Tom Arnold sees him in the toilet. He goes, "Good Lord, what did you eat?"
That joke was kind of stupid.
It was, but
I have
it's
to
funny.
say.
And then we go, that's toilet humor. Dr. Evil he is on the phone with the UN.
Yeah.
And he does his
How does he have a phone number to the UN?
$1 million for the plot. And then number 2 reminds him, we're not doing $1 million. That's
Give
too
me the
small.
number to the UN secret command.
Yeah, like what? It's just these guys from around the world, the UN.
And the people standing behind them are like stereotypes. Like the sumo wrestler behind Japan.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, early in the movie,
the Scotsman.
Dr. Evil is like, "We're going to hold the world for ransom for $1 million." And it's like dramatic. And the number 2 is like, that's kind of a small amount of money nowadays. My company is worth $9 billion alone. And then he goes, "Okay, $100 billion. So Dr. Evil does his evil laugh with his henchmen surrounding him, the classic. And the music goes, and you think it's going to cut. It just keeps going. And they just keep laughing until it dies down. And he's just awkwardly going. And then it's this awkward. And that's where I had Act 1 ending.
Doesn't it cut to...
It cuts...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you did. Act 1, we missed a huge...
Oh, did we?
Important part. The plane. My jumbo jets.
Is that?
That's in Act 1, baby.
Oh, yeah, it is. He gets his jet and it's all...
He's like, would you like... Do I make you horny?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
do I make you Randy?
This is important for my point later. He's constantly trying to bone Vanessa.
Yes.
She's just like, "No, I'm about business." And then he has this circular rotating bed that he gets on.
Oh, no, I fell over. Oh, no, I fell over again.
Because of the turbulence.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I would, if I were the only woman left on Earth and you were the only man, I still would never have sex with you."
And we had to sleep together to procreate.
And he's just still like, "Come on," and like just optimistic about it.
Come on, I don't bite. Hard.
Yeah. And then he's spinning around on the bed in the background, and you see her not looking at him, but she kind of gets a smirk like, it's funny. Like he's kind of getting to her.
There's another part that cracks me up.
Lots of good humor.
There's lots of good humor. It's not the most sophisticated humor.
It's not
but it's
sophisticated
hilarious.
at all.
I think it's hilarious. You think
is.
Everyone does.
This is my kind of humor. Dumb.
Yes,
You don't have to be
I
smart
like
to
it.
watch
It's-
it. I
It's
kind of
great.
wish I knew more Bond movies
Yeah.
or more spy, so then I could get it more.
We'll watch some of the earlier ones.
I don't think I feel like it. They're all the. I think I don't know if all because I don't know how many. How many is Pierce Brosnan in?
4?
I think they're all on Netflix. Then
They are.
yeah,
They are.
all of them. So
But yeah, good act.
Good act.
Hilarious. Lots of good humor. Lots of. I didn't recognize the hair on his chest, like making that shape.
Me neither.
When I was a
until-
kid, there's some stuff you don't notice when you're that young.
but you do now.
You do now, and it's
really
hilarious.
obvious now. Like,
Right.
It's very obviously shaped like a penis.
Yes. Yes. Talk about your love trail.
Yeah, it's a whole
mean,
love shaft.
It's a love a love shaft.
what do
Is
they
that
call
what
it?
you said?
Yeah. What is it called? Happy trail, but that's a
happy
happy
trail.
shaft. That is an ecstasy shaft. So,
I don't have anything else really to add. I mean, we haven't gotten to the emotional parts yet.
no, that comes real quick.
Yeah.
That's what she said. So
Yeah.
Act 2 starts with they're in a hotel room, Vanessa and Austin, because they had to share a room to sell the fact that they're together as their cover.
Right.
And that Casino Royale. Because there is a Casino Royale, like an old one that I assume is the
Right,
same
right.
thing. And this kind of humor, there's so many things that, like, in the next 2 movies after this, I think they refer to them in the business as runners. It's like a running joke that they go
Yeah.
back to. It's like a
Yep.
little gag.
Mhm.
And
Are
I
you talking
love
about
this
the shape?
one.
The shape.
Yeah, he's
The
naked in the
shape's
background.
making stuff, and
Yeah.
she's eating the
He's-
sausage, and
Yes.
Yeah.
He's naked in the background, but she's framed perfectly to keep blocking it. But, like, it looks like her finger is his dong.
yeah,
And then she has a magnifying
and she's like twitching it.
glass.
Like
Yeah. And it's just,
I never noticed that either
it's
when I was
brilliant.
a kid.
It's kind of brilliantly
It
directed.
is brilliantly. Ugh,
Directed, shot, set up,
I
blocked.
agree.
But it ends with he is standing there, and it's his profile, and she has a sausage, and she takes
She
a
has
bite,
a sausage.
breakfast sausage,
I know.
on a fork, Christian, and it's lined up. It looks like
Right
a
where
peen,
his
boner,
his peen.
and she takes a bite, and he goes, "Ugh," because he's stretching. Because he's stretching. She times it where he's stretching and goes, "Ugh." And he, like, shivers or something.
The
You know,
way
when
you
he's stressed.
did it the first time. That's what.
I'm funny, I guess. Oh, the whole time.
Oh!
By the way, she's on the phone with her mom, who is his old.
Flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of talking back and forth. But Austin decides, you know what? I need to loosen you up, Vanessa. We're going to go out on the town.
I'm gonna take you out for a night on the town.
And this is where they're on top of a...
That's when they're spying VirtueCon,
Oh, yeah. There's another thing.
and they're in the bushes,
And she has this, like, modern little binoculars. And
Yeah.
then he whips out his camera
with the telephoto lens.
with a huge telephoto lens.
Let's get a closer look.
It's worth noting, I guess his side gig is he's a photographer.
Yeah,
He has
yeah.
models, and he takes pictures of models. And there's a
Yeah,
really funny
baby.
thing in the end credits that I'll just say now, 'cause
Yeah,
it's not
that's
important.
fun.
But
That's fun.
Photographers, I assume, like, they have a lot of tact. Like, they're constantly talking to try to get the model to do what they want. Like, you're an animal, you're this, like, look here, to get them to get,
Right.
like, the perfect pose and stuff. And they're really making fun of that. Like, he's just randomly taking pictures at certain points. And there's one time where
Is it the,
I love
the
this.
secret documents?
there's two, I don't know what.
Go ahead.
There's one where she's wearing, like, this dress, and he's coming out of her arm, and he goes, "Oh, I'm being born, because it looks like a vagina, I guess." And he's, like, coming out of her arm, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm back in. Oh, I'm being born again." And he's taking pictures. And then there's one part that I died. I didn't die, but it was really funny, where he's snapping his offhand, and you're thinking, oh, he's getting that, like, look here.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Pay no attention to this. Pay no attention to this. I'm not even doing this. Don't worry about this." I'm like, what? What are you doing then? It's just really funny. That's at the end. But they're out on the town.
Obviously green screened.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be obviously green screen, but yes,
part
very
of the humor
obvious.
there.
They're on a double-decker bus, though.
And who's
they're having
there?
a meal. Oh, this is when he looks directly
Burt
at the
Bacharach.
camera. He looks at the camera and announces it. He breaks the fourth wall. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burt Bacharach. And he's
What the
singing a
world
song.
needs now
Great song.
is love, sweet love.
And this is when they're kind of starting to...
This is when their
She's starting
relationship's
to warm up
budding.
to him. And he...
Tell me about yourself, Austin, in a nutshell.
Remember the whole
It's
time...
me.
This is
me in a nutshell.
No, she says, like, that's you in a nutshell. And he goes, no, this is
me in a nutshell.
Look, I'm trapped in a nutshell. How did I get in this nutshell? But remember,
That's one of my favorite
he
parts.
is aggressively, the whole movie so far, trying to bone her.
Yep.
And she's like, no. So this part, she's drunk and he's not. And this is the part that I was telling you that is quite progressive. Because if you think about what's going on in the world today, you have this sex-crazed, and he's being very forceful. But then even Austin, I know it's a movie, but just the writers, I love that they did this.
I agree.
Even Austin Powers has enough respect for women, I guess, to notice, because she's like, kiss me. And he's like, no, you're drunk. It not
wouldn't
right.
be right.
Because he realizes even that when you're drunk, you can't fully give consent. And I just love that detail, how they take that
Well, it's
time.
him acknowledging, too, what time period he's in as well. Even if he's not doing it on purpose, it's him kind of subconsciously or consciously, whatever, kind of aligning with the societies and the culture of the 90s and sexuality.
Some politicians or famous people in today's world should watch Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Because even Austin Powers knows.
Ronald Mump?
Ronald Mump, yeah. Who's Ronald Mump?
Who is Ronald Mump?
We might revisit
Sounds an awful lot like...
Oh, Felix Leiter.
Tronald Dump.
No, I'm not. We're not going to go and say that about it. But, okay, yeah. Very cool moment. They ended up just cuddling on
I
the
like
bed.
his little story there, too.
Yeah, and he talks about how he was kind of in love with his her mom, but her dad really loved her. Like, it was just... There's only one other man that loved her as much, and it was him, and he never
got the chance.
And it's kind of this sad, and she falls asleep.
But he's at the same time he's adulterer. He's
Well,
committing
no, 'cause
adultery.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
They never did. No.
They never did.
No, I don't think so. It's not implied.
You know
that
what?
They did.
I think you're right. I think it was just Austin coming on strong, basically, on Mrs. Kensington.
But
and
she
her
never
rebuffing him over and over. I got it.
Yep. And she falls asleep, and then he gets a message from Basil. And his arm gets caught underneath her. Very funny moment. Just when you think, it's getting sentimental, it takes a humor turn. And it looks like he doesn't know how to work the computer. Because he's like holding it like weird, and he's just
it's
like,
a real thick Acer laptop, folks.
Yeah, and the quality of the video is choppy.
America Online.
Yikes!
And the video is awful.
And it's Basil.
You thought 480p on YouTube was bad.
And he's like, you have to go. And whenever he talks, Basil, he's always really excited about everything.
Hello, Austin.
Yes, and he says, hey.
It's Basil Exposition again.
You need to go to a lot of Vagina's penthouse, and she has plans for We find out, by the way, back up. We find out Dr. Evil's plan that he tells the UN. They steal a nuclear warhead, and he's going to drill into the core of the world and blow up every volcano if they don't pay him money.
That's the sound of the UN laughing at him.
Yeah, and $100 million. So Austin steals the plans for that so they can get ahead of it. She has it. But when he gets there, she's like seducing him. He's seducing her. And he's looking through all this stuff and intel.
And he's taking
and he gets
pictures
the plans.
of it.
Oh, I always loved this. That little mini camera.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of those. It's like a little mini film camera. And he's doing it like with models. He's turning it.
Show me, baby. Show me. Yeah. No.
And then she comes in. Gets into something more comfortable. It's a robe. He's like, because he wants to bone, obviously.
Oh.
They go in the hot tub. She's rubbing his back, sees who he really is. she gets his card. So she's playing him while he's playing her. And there's a couple really funny, like when he farts and the bubbles come up, and then she goes, "How dare you break wind before me?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your turn." Like, what?
Right.
And then what's his poem or whatever that he does?
No, I don't know the exact words. He's like, it's my food. It came up to say hello, and now it's going back
it's like
down below.
And then she's like, that's beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. And then make love to me. And they do it.
Yeah. They don't.
because
he goes back to the hotel room. Austin, what did you do? I shagged her.
I shagged her raw, baby. Yeah. Recon mission planning scene with. This is where you hear this in our intro. It literally says across the screen, "Makeshift British headquarters." And it's just a house, I think.
It's like a penthouse apartment.
And I don't even. What is the point of Basil introducing his
mother?
Mom?
I have no idea.
But it's played for a joke. Austin Powers punches her in the face and then tries to rip her hair out because he's like, "She's a man." And
she's a man, baby.
But it's not. It's really his mom. And Basil gets mad and he's like,
"That's my mother, Austin."
And I'm like, what is the point of this scene?
You have some explaining to do.
This is my one criticism of the movie. That.
Because
it's still funny, though. That's not a criticism. It's dumb and it's funny and I love it. But this is where...
Okay, but before that, she shows him, like, the secret weapons or whatever. You know, the tools of the spy. The tools of the spy. And it's a toothbrush with toothpaste
and mouthwash
and floss.
And he's all right. The floss is to swing around, blah blah blah. The toothpaste is molten plastic, and she goes, "No." Since the 60s, there's been major dental advancements, and then he kind of gets self-conscious about his teeth. I think
that hurt my feelings a little
his teeth
bit.
Are gross.
Honestly.
Okay. But this is when we find out.
And wait, can I?
Yes.
Hold on. This is I think we went past it, the whole emotional part before the makeshift British thing, when she's like, "Welcome to the 90s, Mr. Powers. You're going to be very lonely." And then it's him alone. Looking out the window. Comes a little later. That comes later?
It's the very next scene, kind of.
It is?
Kind of. We go back to Dr. Evil first. Because we haven't seen him in a while, but
I thought it was before that, because I thought at this point they had reconciled.
No, it's right here. Because this is when she finds out
after.
That's what I'm saying. It's after. Because
it's before the British makeshift.
No, it's not. Because this is when she finds out that he went to a lot of vaginas. Because Basil's like, "You went to..." And they share a look, and he's like, "What?" And then they talk later, but we cut to...
Oh, you're right. I'm getting them mixed up. I'm getting the whatever.
And then we
I need to take some water.
The father and son therapy session with big cameo right here, Carrie Fisher as the counselor.
That shocked me. I didn't remember she was in this.
I think she's in the next one too. No, maybe not. I don't know if she has a brief cameo in the next one or not. I don't know.
I thought this scene was in the next one.
I thought
maybe
so
there's
too.
another one. We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Since we're on this new assignment.
But Scott and Dr. Evil are there. It's fathers and sons. And you see this father and son like reconnect and like, "I love you, and I love you, son." You want to check that real quick? Just to make sure. And it's just everybody's getting all, they do that in therapy. So they're all clapping, like, "Good for you." And then Scott, she goes, "Now we'll move on. We have some new people. Mr. Avil." And he corrects her, Evil. And
I didn't go to 6 years. The line.
Yeah, he said that earlier. He doesn't say it again, but it's
I thought
Dr.
he said
Evil.
it during this.
No, he says it earlier to the UN. They're
I'm getting
talking,
my order of events mixed up.
You just
what is going on? I know.
But they're talking. Scott's like, he hasn't been there. Like, he's been frozen for 30 years. And she takes it as a metaphor. Like, I bet it does feel like that sometimes. And it's just really funny because she's still trying to do her job. And they're being like, "No, he's trying to kill me." And I want to read this monologue for you. This monologue, because Scott tells about his life. And then it goes to Dr. Evil.
I feel like he's always trying to kill me. Well, that's what it feels like sometimes, doesn't it?
And then Dr. Evil,
no,
I have
actually...
to read. At one point, here's the backstory. This monologue that I'm about to read, I memorized 3 years ago for an audition for a talent agency in Chicago. Yeah. I did not get in, but it was fun. I really got into the character here. So he goes,
do it.
I'm not going to do it like him. I didn't do it like him. I did it like myself. But So Doctor, this is just, I'm reading this so you get a background of Dr. Evil. So
important exposition. Why isn't Basil saying it then?
I have no idea. He should come in. My father was a relentlessly self-improving boulangerie owner from Belgium with low-grade narcolepsy and a penchant for buggery, which I looked up buggery. I think it's anal.
Oh.
My mother was a 15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet. My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy. A sort of general malaise that only the genius possess and the insane lament. My childhood was typical. Summers in Rangoon, luge lessons. In the spring, we'd make meat helmets. If I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap bag and beaten with reeds. Pretty standard, really. At the age of 12, I received my first scribe. At the age of 15, a Zoroastrian named Vilma ritualistically shaved my testicles. There really is nothing like a shaven scrotum. At the age of 18, I went off to Evil Medical School. From there, and I think it cuts. But that's his monologue. That's his life story. And that really tells a lot about the character. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
We gained so much.
You did.
And learned absolutely nothing about Scott.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, I think that's all the time we have. Because she's like, yeah, this guy is. We go back. This is when Austin and Vanessa have their fight. Because she's like, I thought you did it. And he's like, I shagged her. I shagged her raw.
Baby.
And then she's like, but Austin, I'm like, she's like hurt because they're in a relationship now. And he's like, she means nothing to me. It was for a mission. Mm-hmm. And then Vanessa's like, well, this is when she does the 90s line. You're going to be lonely.
Yeah. Welcome to the 90s, Mr. Austin.
And she storms out and he's sad. But then the very next day, she comes up to him and is like, hey, sometimes I forget that you're 30 years, like you missed out on 30 years.
Like, yeah.
So it's different now. So we're good.
I like that he's watching he's watching history from the 1960s.
Oh yeah, we get a montage. Yeah. And it's funny, his reactions to some things. I forgot what some of them were.
Well, now that we actually know the character as, what shall we say, chauvinistic as he is.
Yeah.
Now that we know that, we kind of have empathy with him.
Yes.
When she says that to him, like, you're going to be lonely. And he looks out the window. It's just the city. He's driving in the road by himself in his car.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, visually on the road, there's no other vehicles. It's just him.
What are some of the stuff that he watches in the history montage?
He watches the moon landing.
The Berlin Wall. There was one that was funny, like that you're thinking, like, why would he watch that? Like, it was a humor. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But he watches the moon landing and gets like,
we'll find out next time.
Like, he gets this face, like, whoa, you know. And so
like,
they're
so much I miss.
All's forgiven. They ready up for the recon mission, and their plan is to.
Their next phase is to infiltrate
Volcavision or whatever.
Volcavision.
And that's
Virtucon.
Yeah, Virtucon. And that's number 2's company. That's where the evil layer is now. Mm-hmm. And that's where the warhead is. And
this is still Act 2?
Yeah. Maybe this is the end right here, though. I made this the end because it's like an exclamation point. They infiltrate it as tourists with these terrible costumes. And they
he's like an Indian.
Yeah, with a long beard, and she's blonde.
I'm trying to think of a term.
They go undercover. They steal the lab coats and the identification badges of these 2 workers that happen to go in the bathroom. And we get
I'll take the guy.
The steamroller.
You take the girl.
Testing area. And there's a bunch of
steamroller
steamrollers.
Testing facility.
And they steal one, and they're driving on one. And everybody's moving out of their way, and this is going very slow. And there's a funny joke when he goes, I'm gonna punch it, and it doesn't go any faster. And then there's a guy that's a good 30 feet away, one of the officers, and he stops while everybody scatters. He stands in front of the steamroller and just yells with his hand out, like yelling to stop.
Cuts to the
and
wide.
They're like, move, and it cuts to the wide. It's so funny because he could just take a step, and that's the humor of it.
It does the quick zoom, like, no!
Like it's right there, but then it cuts to the wide, and it's a little closer, and there's like move, and they don't stop. That was
that part kind of disturbed me when I was a kid.
Me too,
kind of, because they just smushed the guy.
That's the end of Act 2. But did you know? Oh, and it says like the bone crunching.
Yeah.
But did you know in the VHS, at the very end of the credits, there's an end credits scene where it's that guy's family. It's his wife and kids.
I remember that. No.
And they get informed that he died in a steamroller accident, and she like starts like it's kind of depressing. I can't remember what the joke is.
No wonder they took it out.
But
not only that, but for the time we're living in now.
Yeah, but that's not on Netflix. It was not.
I know why though. You think it would? Is it an extra?
I'm gonna YouTube it. When we're done. Okay. Remind me. Don't let me forget. Because we'll watch it. It's very depressing. But Act 2, long act. No, that was a short act.
No.
That was a pretty short act.
That was a long one to me. Was?
We went off on a couple. We haven't really gone off on any sidebars.
No.
We've been sticking to, I think.
No sidebars. Well, let's change that. No.
This one, to me, like.
Well, that's because we weren't prepared.
No, we weren't as prepared. Like, I don't have any funny joke. Like, this might not be the funniest. It's a comedy. We're letting the movie do the comedy. You've seen it.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it was in 97, so you've had 23 years? No, not 23.
No,
yeah, 23 years.
23, 1997. Wait. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This movie's old. I only got 10% battery left.
Uh-oh.
But, Austin, do you anything else to...
Yeah, I mean, I just want to elaborate a little more on that whole thing. You feel bad for him. I feel bad for him when she says something about his teeth, and then in the next scene, he doesn't smile like he's used to doing the whole dang movie. He doesn't smile because he's self-conscious, and you feel bad for him. Like, oh, well, I feel bad for anyone if that happened to anybody. Like, smile. I wouldn't want people not to smile just because their teeth look bad.
Suck.
I mean, that's something
they are really gross.
I know, but just the thinking about... I didn't take my word salad before I got here.
Well, we were kind of thrown into this. I know. We were thrown into this.
But no, it reminds me of... I'm going on and on about the smiling thing, but it just hurts my feelings vicariously that somebody else feels insecure about their own teeth and their own smile, that they don't feel comfortable smiling and sharing that joy with anyone else. That hurts me.
Also, having said this, take care of your teeth.
Right.
Everybody take care of your teeth.
Well, sometimes it just happens, you know. But another thing was him driving off all alone, and then he goes to the bar, and the other guys are like giving him the peace sign, and he gets made fun of.
No, he does the peace sign to them, and then
because they're looking at him, and it's like, to him it looks like the women are flirting with him.
Yeah, but they're not. They're making fun of him.
But he does the peace sign,
did you notice
then they make fun of him.
He's drinking a Tab?
No,
Tab
I
soda.
Didn't. Oh, he is.
And then when he wakes up the next
day,
day, or the next day, there's a bunch of Tab
He's
cans.
binging on Tab.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tab's not a thing anymore, is it? Definitely
I don't think so.
I don't think it's been for a while.
I don't even remember it.
I think I had one once. Maybe it was 97.
Like you said, it has emotions, but it's few and far between, and the movie is mostly just goofy slapstick.
It does not take itself seriously at all.
Yeah.
And it's on the nose stuff for humor. It's like, well, that's kind of on the nose. That's what they're going for. Like, they're making fun of James Bond movies. That's the whole appeal of the movie. Yeah. Yeah, or any spy movie.
It's lampooning the sexual nature of James Bond.
Yes.
And the spy nature and all that.
And the names. Because you know how, like, James Bond girls have those names?
Yeah.
Weird. Like,
Vesper Lynd.
Well, yeah, but, like, even, like, older ones have weird names. But, a lot of... That's going to be a running gag with these names going forward. It's going to be fun.
But, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't have anything else to add on number 2.
This is kind of a shallow... This is a shallow episode, I think, because it's a shallow movie. There's not much...
There's not a whole lot of depth.
No.
The comedy is kind of clever here and there, but...
It is.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Act 3. We're back to Dr. Evil. And dude, this part is so hysterical. Like, not laugh out loud hysterical, but okay, so Dr. Evil captures them. And this is really ramping up the stereotypes of villains in Bond movies, where he doesn't just kill the heroes. Like, villains don't kill the heroes when they should. He gives them clothes, these futuristic silver shiny clothes.
Yeah, I designed them myself.
She's wearing a short skirt. He feeds them a meal, and Scott comes out in the middle. He's like,
what are you feeding them?
Yeah, like Scott, because just when you think you can rip the movie for this, Scott is the audience that is the voice of reason. And like what every audience thinks in any movie that actually is being serious, where the villain doesn't just kill the hero and they do the monologue. You know how they
Scott's
make
the everyman.
Yes. So he is like, Scott, this is my, I would like to introduce you to Austin Powers.
My nemesis.
You're
Austin
feeding them? And then this is when we
Why
get...
don't you just kill him right now?
Yeah, well, he does that in a minute. Because he goes... This is when he opens the bag of shh. And Scott keeps trying to talk and he's shh, shh. And this is a running gag in the next one, too.
Right.
He goes, I have a whole bag of shh with your name on it. And then before he even starts, he goes, shh. That's a preemptive shh before you even start. And it's just funny. So now he's like, I am going to put them in an easily escapable situation and leave them to die or whatever. And Scott's like, I got a gun in my room. 5 seconds. I'll get it. Come back. We'll kill him together. It'll be fun. And he's just like, Scott, you just don't get it, do you? You don't. And we're like it's almost like Scott he's like breaking the fourth wall. And the other, like, Dr. Evil doesn't realize he's in a movie because the stereotype is, that's what you do with the heroes. You don't just kill them. You put them in a situation that you're not even going to watch.
And he closes the door.
And he's like, with laser beams attached to their heads. Sharks with laser beams attached to their heads.
And they will be put on the extremely slowly descending platform.
With one guard, who, as this is going on and they're escaping, by the way, he also doesn't kill them. He's looking up and like, what? And he just watches them swing over.
Right. With the floss.
But there isn't sharks with lasers on their heads, because number 2 is like, they were put on the endangered species list, and we really tried to get them, but we couldn't. So we got sea bass, but they're like rabid. And Dr. Evil's like, there's one thing that I request, and it's sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. And he doesn't.
And now he's telling me it can't be done.
And he gets all mad. It's really funny. So
throw me a bone here. Doesn't he say it twice?
He says it a lot. Throw me a freaking
bone here.
And, there's more chair humor here. When he sits down, it rolls away from the table, and he has to scoot back. They escape. Austin and Vanessa escape with the floss. The guy, they put his head in the water, and he gets it bitten off. A very fake looking stump of a head.
Now is not the time to lose one's head.
Right. This is another running joke that they go with in the next 3 movies. And they just make head puns.
I guess he'll never be the head of a corporation.
That's enough. Right. And we get Austin.
That's not one way to get ahead in life.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of head puns.
This is when the action really picks up. This is actually one of my favorite scenes of the movie. Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't know if I missed my favorite part. Oh, no. Wait.
What?
Hold on. Nope. Okay, we're not there yet. Sorry. I'm really excited
False
to talk
alarm.
about this thing.
Why are you wasting our time?
I'm sorry. So we get the fembots.
I'm going to press a button. It's you falling backward.
Oh, and the flame.
Yeah.
I'm very badly burned. But we get the fembots.
Right.
And Austin's in the room with the fembots, and he's like, hello. And then the cannons come out of the boobs, and he goes, is it cold in here? And the steam comes out, and his glasses get all messed up, and he's like, he's trying not to get bored.
He's on the bed.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold night. Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold night. And I'm just like, it's so funny.
What was the other one before the Margaret
I think
Thatcher?
it's just like baseball and
baseball.
Random stuff. like stuff to help him not get a boner. But then the fembots are like, we're going to get you with our charm. And he goes, oh, no, I think it'll be me getting you with my charm or whatever.
Yeah.
And the song I Touch Myself plays. And it's kind of this epic moment where he's back to being Austin Powers. Like, he's using his mojo. And he's dancing and, like, stripping. And they're all, like, malfunctioning. Right. And their heads explode because they're robots. And then
every time he twerks, they go...
Yeah, their heads, like, twitch and they explode. And he's in his underwear. And then Vanessa and two guards. There. And then Vanessa walks by the room. They see him. And he's dancing
still.
And dude, I am almost 1,000% sure his every line, like his explanation, is completely improvised. Because you can tell. I'm pretty sure the guards are breaking. Because you see the one guard, the black guard, look over to the other one, and he's smiling, and it looks like they're breaking. And you just you can tell, like, she may have had lines, but she's like, and just lets him go. And he's like, and then I got my mojo working, and then we had a cross-mogination. Cross-mogination.
And I ended up in my knickers, and no.
Oh, my gosh. It was so funny. That's probably the funniest scene of the entire film. No, second funniest. It's coming up.
So one of the most iconic from the film.
Yes.
I mean, it's on the thumbnail on Netflix.
I didn't write this down, but it's somewhere in there when they get on that little cart and they go down the hallway.
That's one of my favorite parts of the whole film.
That is a timeless. Because he's like, all right, you go up the ladder.
You go up and get help. I'll stay here and get Dr. Evil.
And he's in this cart. It's a very narrow. This cart is long. It's like this golf cart thing. And they're in this hallway, and he keeps trying to turn around. Instead of just going in reverse. And he's being real dramatic with turning the steering wheel all the way. And then he accidentally goes forward and breaks the... It's so funny.
It is
And then
hilarious.
it cuts away as he's struggling. But he's taking it so... Like, he thinks...
Right.
I'll actually get this turned around. There's no possible physical
Is this a metaphor for the situation, too?
Yes.
That they're in?
And it cuts to Dr. Evil, and he's in this, like, plastic suit. Nobody else is in a suit like him. He doesn't need to have this on. But it has a microphone, and they're putting the warhead in they're drilling. They're starting the drill, and he goes to sit down. More chair humor, and he slips off.
Yeah, and he slips and falls. Yeah.
It's so funny. And then we cut back to Austin Powers, and you just see his head. The camera zoomed in, and you just see him backing up, and then going forward. And then as the camera dollies out, he's perpendicular
stuck, to the hallway.
In the hallway. So he's going
There's
about
no
half an
wiggle
inch.
room here.
No. He's going a half an inch forward. He puts it in reverse, looks back like he's going to actually get out of it, and goes back. Oh, it's so funny.
It's one of the best parts of the whole film. It really
might be one of my favorite comedic scenes of all time.
Right.
But it's they get into a big shootout with all the henchmen. He aborts the mission. This part kind of happens quick. Like, it's kind of anticlimactic. I think it's on purpose. So the drill is just about to get to the core. He hits abort. It's
a
aborted.
really crappy slow-mo effect, too.
Yes.
Really
I think
cheesy.
it's on purpose. It's like that
and
classic...
then you hear that... What? It's like the classic
The classic where it's like...
it's like Michael Jordan's Space Jam.
Yeah, it's not smooth. I watched Space Jam earlier this week.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. I didn't know it was on Netflix.
It's coming to theater. Let's go see
Space Jam is?
Yeah.
Well, because
That's
Space Jam 2...
cinema.
By the way, when Space Jam 2 comes out... This is our sidebar. When Space Jam 2 comes out next year... We will be doing Space Jam.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
We will be doing
That's going to be one of the
Space
shortest ones we've done
Jam.
yet. The franchise.
Yeah, that'll be a 1-2.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I cannot wait. I almost messaged you while I was watching Space Jam. Like, I cannot wait to talk about Space Jam. Because it's awesome. It's a classic. It's awesome. But it's so, like...
It's great.
There's so many... It's not a good... We'll talk about it when we talk about it.
And then you can play basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Talking about Austin Powers. I almost suggested doing a one-off episode because I couldn't. I had to talk about it. But
man,
it's got a sequel.
Space Jam.
It's got a
sequel. Speaking of Space Jam, where does Dr. Evil run off to?
He runs off to feed his cat, and this is a Meow Mix
before
commercial.
They escape.
Din din, Meow Mix, please deliver that. And then Austin Powers gets him, and he's like, "Oh," and they're talking back and forth. And here's my plan.
This is actually a really introspective, that's the word I'm looking for.
Explain.
Part. When you talk about what was what was popular and normalized in the 60s is now evil.
Oh, yeah. And he's,
How does it feel, Mr. Powers?
And then Austin Powers is like, no. We did all that
We had freedom,
stuff.
Baby.
Yeah,
but now we've got freedom and responsibility.
And if we, knowing what we know now, we would have done it differently. But blah, blah, blah. Like, it is another kind of cool, like,
It's a brief moment, but it's making a statement. Yeah.
He's like, we were never against, I can't remember what he said, but we were against, like, the corruption and stuff, or something like that. But it was like, oh, cool. Cool little moment. But it's interrupted by a lot of vagina, and she has Vanessa at gunpoint. And it's just this Dr. Evil. Oh, Scott comes out. And then...
hey, Dad, can I bring my Sega?
Right. Like, where are they going? Is that ever said, or are they just leaving
they're
the lair?
Just going somewhere.
Because they're self-destructing
we'll
the
see
lair.
where they're going.
Yeah.
Where Scott goes, who the hell knows?
I want to see his room.
I do too.
He has a Sega? That's awesome.
He's got a Sega.
I'd play Sega right now.
He's playing Sonic.
Sega. Oh, Sonic. But
hard game, by the way.
Austin. Yeah. Austin gets Scott, and then Dr. Evil's like, do it. Kill the little shit, or kill the little bastard. And then Austin's like,
see if I care.
So he doesn't. Obviously, he doesn't kill Scott, but he leaves. He's like, I hate you. Number 2 comes in. You're thinking, uh-oh, now Austin's countered. And then number 2's like, actually, Dr. Evil, I'm not going through with this. But he
I built
turns
this
on
company.
him. Yeah. And he goes, Austin, I have a business proposition for you. He sits in his chair. Dr. Evil's like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm sick of this. He pushes number 2's chair. He dies, gets burnt. He's gone.
Right.
And then he flees.
Robert Wagner. That's the actor.
There you go.
There we go.
What else is he from?
He's in some insurance. He's in an insurance ad. I know that. Oh. Well, he's sadly passed away now.
Oh,
a few years ago, actually, he passed away.
Sad.
But his voice in this film reminds me of Keanu Reeves for some reason.
I can see that.
Like,
another thing I noticed about fashion in 1997, like the suits are like really baggy, kind of like pants.
Right.
That was before the slim suits, like the modern suits, and I was like, suits they did not look good back then. They're like just big and bulky. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I like myself
Austin
a slim fitting suit. Okay?
Yes, I just ordered one for a wedding. I'm in April. Ordered my suit. I've never had a modernized slim fit suit. I think I'm gonna look slimming. It's awesome. It's gonna look nice. But what was his suit? He gets
you feel good when you wear a suit.
Austin's suits, like his, are always on point. He looks good in his outfit.
That's his Bond attire. Is the frilly ascot thing, the suede, velvet suede, whatever it is. It's
slimming.
Yeah,
his isn't bulky.
It looks
like
sharp.
Form fitting.
It looks sharp.
It's very British and very 60s, 70s. It's awesome.
Yes.
So number 2's dead.
And I'm not gonna take it anymore.
Oh wait, yeah. Does number 2 cry?
He does.
He does cry
for a brief moment.
Being pushed around, and that's another motif that we'll see in the next one, by the way. Spoilers. Dr. Evil flees to another cryogenically freezing chamber.
Egg.
And he's like, egg. He hits the self-destruct in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And everybody's scrambling. And he goes off into Big Boy with his cat. Again. And they escape. And then it cuts to no time in between. 3 months later, Austin Powers and Vanessa.
They're married.
The morning after. They have other gifts.
They've consummated their marriage.
They're naked. And we get more of that, like that body humor where objects take the place. Like she's standing behind him, and her boobs are never shown, but he keeps
Thanks for the fruit basket, Basil.
Right? And he holds up the
pineapples.
Melons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pineapples.
She walks in with pineapples, so on and so forth. It's
the
milk.
Funny.
Would you like some milk tea? Or
oh yeah, and it comes out of
her. Yes.
But his crotch is blocked by the little phone that Basil's on, so he's looking.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
My favorite is
not at
somebody
all.
gave us this really weird painting, and it's just boobs. So she holds those up. I'm like, what? It's so funny. There's another. What does he tell him? Like, there's a mission.
Oh man, something about. Honestly,
I don't know.
I forgot. I cannot believe I watched the movie last night, and I
watched it at lunch today.
I know.
But then we get. Remember him? Random Task breaks back in.
He's still around.
And Austin is fighting him, And he throws his shoe and it hits him in the head and he goes, "Who throws a shoe, honestly?" And it doesn't affect him, which is the joke. Like, that doesn't work.
Yep.
You think it would after seeing the statue, and it's just like, ouch. Christian, it's at this point of the show, you'll notice maybe something has been absent from this show.
Yeah.
Perhaps
we haven't even got to...
Character spotlight. I'm doing the finger thing, by the way. Random task. You thought we forgot about him. Well, we didn't. Random task is that classic silent but intimidating background character. Literally. He's in the background of most shots that he's in, just standing there. He's introduced once. Nothing is ever said about him again, literally, until right now. And he's in the background, out of focus. He just stands around like nothing. You think he's going to be a big part. Nothing. So while Austin comes out victorious, the real winner here is Random Task.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
After he's defeated by the Swedish penis enlarger pump, he's more swole downstairs than he's ever been. And when he comes to, he finds himself in a random office building with a pain in his groinal area. A receptionist calls his name from behind a desk and shows him to a room. It's a familiar room with white walls, a single bush for decoration, a tripod set up, and no artwork. The receptionist tells him to have a seat on a black leather couch. After a moment, a suited man comes in with a woman in a robe. The man is holding a camera. He sets it up on the tripod and simply says, "I suppose you know why you're here? We're big fans of your work." He speaks in a Swedish accent. The woman disrobes. Random Task is confused, but listens on. "Ever since you rolled down the hall attached to our product, our pump sales have skyrocketed 5-fold. We are expanding our marketing reach. Welcome to the casting couch, Mr. Task. We start production on our latest commercial tomorrow." And that's the random story of Random Task fulfilling his dream and making the switch to adult marketing world as the new spokesman for the Swedish penis enlarger pump. And if that
he
sounds
wrote
really
the
random,
sequel
if that sounds really random and improvised, that's because it was. We didn't have plans.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan until the end, and that's as random as this movie is.
Right.
So if it sounded just kind of like I was throwing stuff together, I was.
He pulled it out of his ass.
Out of my... So after that...
Oh.
It's over. No, we go to Dr. Evil is frozen. He's freezing in space.
I'll get ice. You, Austin Powers.
Yeah. And then we get
your little dog, too.
I wish he had said that.
Yeah.
But we get the credits, and we get the photo shoot I talked about earlier, which I'm going to go into again, but it's just really funny. It's long. And it's
and then we get into a musical number.
Yeah, which I skipped, because I didn't know if there's something at the very end. But that's our movie. That's Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Baby. What'd you think?
It's hilarious.
I love this movie.
I love it too. I love
this movie.
Favorite scenes. I'm just gonna go through favorite scenes.
Yeah,
a couple of them. Just
I didn't write
the ones
overall.
that stand. I didn't either. I'm just gonna say it.
We're kind of
when he's squeezing the shoe.
Oh yeah, that's the funny when he's doing the history lesson.
Yeah,
he gets these new shoes, and then it explodes.
Yeah,
like, what is that
it's
power?
Hilarious. I don't. Was that in the shoe?
I don't know.
Or is it just comedy? It's comedy.
It's comedy. Comedy.
I love just his he just does these crazy wacky dances and just does that stupid grin.
Yeah.
And his face, it cracks me up.
There's a ton of
that overbite, the teeth, the glasses, the haircut.
These movies are so iconic, whether you like them or not. I find myself, I'm sure everybody does, or at least our generation. When I was in high school, middle school, and that's when these movies had been out for a while. But like stuff that you integrate into your regular everyday life, like catchphrases, you may have forgotten where it even came from, but you do it. And then when you watch this, you're like, oh yeah. Like the finger thing. People still do that pinky thing when they're talking about an evil plan.
Right.
And like
he just showed up on like Jimmy Kimmel a couple of years ago or a year ago.
Mike Myers did?
Yeah, he played in character. Dr.
nice.
Evil, talking to Jimmy Kimmel.
It's coming back.
He was talking about running for president.
I'd vote for him. No, I wouldn't. He's Belgian, so we couldn't.
I have a plan. It's called election.
Preparation. No, I'm not going to say that. That's spoilers for the next one.
Preparation H.
That's spoilers for the next one. But just all
No.
the catchphrases,
Right.
we still use those.
It's an
The
insanely
sex,
quotable
yes, please.
movie, but we can't remember any of the quotes for some reason after we watched the movie
No, but I still
last
say 'em.
night and today. Right.
Like when he
throw me a
said-
freaking bone here.
Yeah, like we say that stuff. This stuff.
or the
and
durker,
finger-
durker. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, whenever I'm filling out a thing that where you have to fill in the sex, I always make the joke. Yes, please. Always. But the thing is, like when I
penis
say them,
pump.
I remember
Yeah.
where this stuff came.
I
so-
remember the penis pump. I remember
Swedish
the
penis
shoe
pump.
throw. The shoe throw is one of my favorite moments. Just it hits him and then, oh, that really hurt.
This movie's so gold. I think the next one has even more.
What an idiot! You're an idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly,
What's Vanessa doing during that?
I don't know. She went to the restroom or she went to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Because she put a robe on and she's like, no, use it.
Oh, yeah, she gives him the
Yeah,
bump.
she gives him the penis pump.
And
He's
he
like,
still
it's
denies
not
it.
mine, I swear.
I think that's one of the best running
Gags in the film.
because they don't overuse it, but they use it a lot. Perfectly timed.
He does it in another moment in the film, too. Oh, with the guns. When they're looking through their suitcases and she pulls out the little
This
pistol.
huge- he pulls out the little pistol,
She
and then
pulls
she
out
pulls
a
out
Desert Eagle for
Yeah.
crying out loud. And then he pulls out his penis pump.
How did that get in there? Like, it's just so funny. Like, it's a funny. This movie has a lot of runners.
Just wait until we get to the next one. Holy moly.
I think the next one, if I remember correctly, is my favorite.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm just going to say one word. Johnson.
Oh, yes, it has
One
that.
word. Has that in
runner.
it. That
oh,
runner.
Man, I quote that.
The silhouette behind the curtain runner.
Oh my gosh, those are so gold. And for the times, well, I mean, you don't see that. All we get, man, oh man. That I quote. The second one has even more that I
Yeah, the second one I think is my favorite.
Oh, it definitely is mine.
I remember the second one.
Although I remember
watching
the
it more
third
when I was a
one,
kid than the other one.
At the time, the third one, when it came out, it had been a while. Well, by those standards,
I have
while.
not seen the third one all the way through.
It's so the
Gold
shadow
member.
stuff
Yeah.
is the fun. I was dying. I remember the first time I watched it. It's so funny. It's a funny movie. But Austin Powers, guys.
Austin Powers, we're doing it. We're doing it.
We apologize for the audible, but due to the actual real life delay of the Bond movie, we felt that we couldn't just leave it out there to dry.
For those of you who don't know and who are very confused at why we took a left turn here,
yes,
I just received word Wednesday, which is yesterday.
That would be
Good
yesterday
grief.
at the time of recording, yes.
At the time of recording, my manager, I was at work, she showed me No Time to Die delayed until November due to coronavirus outbreak.
Long time.
That's a long time. And originally...
And I'll just go on
Yeah.
record. I think it's dumb that they're doing. That's not gonna happen. It's dumb.
If it's saving lives,
But
if it
how
keeps
is it?
people
People are
safe...
still gonna go out. Delaying
I
a movie
know,
is not gonna prevent
and there's
it.
questions about it. It's flu season in November, so it's almost even more susceptible.
We'd rather
for
have
that.
you get the flu that more people have died from. Here
right.
you go.
Well, and also, and you know, it's not a funny situation.
No, it's
People
not.
are dying all over the world because of this thing.
But the media is really hyping it up to be more than what it is.
Arguably. But
Yeah.
it would not be good if your movie called No Time to Die had a coronavirus
Is that why
outbreak
they
in
did
one
it?
of the auditoriums. Someone gets sick from it from, tight-knit quarters. Someone might have the sickness and passes it in an
guess. Do they
auditorium
think
filled
it's
of
just gonna be
moviegoers.
gone?
And then you have someone passing away. Unfortunately, it's No Time to Die.
And then people
you
come
got
out
people
and go,
getting
ain't
killed.
nobody got time for that.
Right.
Making jokes. when
Yeah,
we
I
shouldn't
think
be
you
making
all
jokes.
understand the point.
So
but
that's why we're doing it.
the whole situation isn't funny, but
No, it's not.
That's kind of a
But it's
dark humor there. With
Luckily,
the
we
name.
weren't too far into it. And this one is we're picking up kind of where we left off. It's a James Bond-esque movie, so we're still giving you that. Mm-hmm. And then everything from here on out, we're doing Austin Powers, and then it'll be like the same format with a wrap up of Austin Powers. No more curveballs.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah,
thanks for sticking with us. We
we
have,
go for it. Are you ready for this?
This is exciting.
I looked on our Podbean, and we are up to 100 downloads. Right. 1,000 downloads. So 1,000 downloads, though, and I know that's not a huge number compared to like podcasts that are big and famous, but for our first 3 months, 1,000, that's a big milestone for us. So thank you to everybody who has listened and will continue to listen and has taken this curveball and knocking it out of the park. We're having fun with it. Yeah, we have to delay Bond, but we get Austin Powers.
We get Austin Powers. Yeah, absolutely.
So we
don't get Austin Powers. We get Austin Danger Powers.
Danger's my middle name. Do you think that's where that whole joke came in? Like people saying like, "Oh, that's my middle name."
I don't think so.
Ice cream is my middle name.
Yeah.
I think this elevated it. Kind of like that's what she said in The Office. It was a thing before that.
Oh, yeah.
But The Office really...
I agree. Yeah. I can see that.
And there's our Office joke.
Yep.
But great movie. Thank you guys seriously for all the downloads. And we can't wait for 1,000 more. And then 1,000 more.
Let's do it.
Thousands and thousands
with
more.
You guys and the wind in our sails. And
yes.
Thanks for sticking with us.
You are the wind beneath our wings.
Wow, that was not...
We didn't plan that. I would have harmonized with you if I known it was coming.
Right. But, likewise.
Yes.
But yeah. All right, Spencer, we've reached another ending. But an ending is a new beginning.
That it is.
It is. So thank you all for sticking with us as we work through this change of pace here with a new series, a new franchise with Austin Powers, doing a little pivot here. Thank you for listening.
Pivot! Sorry. That's a Friends reference. We're going to start referencing Friends now.
Never watched it. Thank you for tuning in to another new episode of SequelMen, the podcast.
And a new franchise.
Absolutely.
Impromptu.
You can listen to this episode and all of our previous episodes, including the Casino Royale one, if you have at it, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and, of course, Podbean, our provider.
Yes, and remember, the Casino Royale is still going to stay up. It'll just kind of be out of place, but we're going to re-release it with some bonus content closer to when No Time to Die actually comes out in November. So, to be continued, James Bond will return.
But
we're going to re-release it, so watch out for that, just as a heads up. But if you like what we did, or if you don't like what we did, or if you like what we're doing, if you don't, if you have suggestions, fan questions, just want to drop in and say, hey,
questions,
guys.
Comments, derogatory remarks.
Yeah, we'll read. You can email the show, and if it's a cool, fun, good email that's worth reading, I'll read it out loud and shout you out. You can email us at sequelmen19@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at SequelMen the podcast, on Twitter at SequelMen19, and on Facebook, just search for SequelMen the podcast, and we're there. And leave us a message or write on a wall. Once we start getting more traffic on there, we'll start interacting more. But if I posted, some people aren't, once we get more interactive and bigger, we'll start interacting a little better. But come to us first, talk to us first, and we'll respond. And also on Apple Podcasts, write a review.
Absolutely.
On iTunes, write a review. 5 stars, it'll get us noticed, get us higher up on the ranks. And I'll read your review. I'll read your 5-star review. I might even read a 4-star. I might even read a 3-star.
I'll read a 1-star.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm reading every review. We'll do it live. I'll do it. You write it. I'll read it out loud on live. Anyway, that's Austin Powers.
That's tomorrow. And
Christian to play us out from a cut off his new album.
Yes. Spencer, thank you.
That was my first time seeing the F-word today. I had to get one.
I know. It's rated PG-13.
We had to get one. You said it twice.
I knew. Well, I need to work on it.
We are now.
Anyway, well, Spencer, we can't wait until the next one.
That's right, Christian, because here at SequelMen, the podcast. All films are created sequel. Take care. Bye-bye now. Can't wait to get shagged in the next one.